Hello, everybody. This is Peter Cooper from the NCBI. Welcome to today's webinar, which is going to be about an update on data NCBI password retirement. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Kimberly Pirtle, who is the product owner for My NCBI. Take it away, Kimberly.
Thanks, Peter. Hi, everybody. As Peter mentioned, my name is Kimberly Pirtle. I'm the product owner for My NCBI, and today I'm going to give you an update on the password retirement timeline and give you a demo of our password retirement wizard. So first I want to go over what we mean when we say password retirement for those of you who aren't sure. When we say password retirement, we mean that the password that you use to create your My NCBI account is going away. So what that means is you'll need to log in going forward using a third-party login that is linked to your My NCBI account. It's just the password that's going away. Nothing's happening with the account itself. Some examples of third-party logins are ERA Commons, Login.gov, which is available to you whether or not you're in the US. It's available to anybody. Orchid, Google, Microsoft Live, and this means your personal Outlook or Hotmail.com account. Or you may be able to log in through your educational or research organization if they're members of the InCommon or EduGain organizations. We do have a URL here to our NCBI Insight blog transition tips page. So if you'd like some extra guidance on which third-party login may be good for you, you can go to that link and take a look. All right, so an update on the retirement timeline. On June 22nd, we disabled the ability to create NCBI accounts with NCBI passwords. So that's no longer possible. And then on July 6th, we launched our password retirement wizard as an opt-in experience. And what that means is we have a URL. You can go to the URL and retire the password for your account at any time that's convenient for you. Later this summer, we'll be launching the wizard as opt-out. And what that means is when you try to log into your account, you'll be redirected to the wizard and asked to retire your password at that time. For the opt-in and opt-out phases of this, there is an update later button that you'll see in the demo. So if you decide that you don't want to retire your password at that time, you can click update later. You'll be taken to the My NCBI page and you can continue what you're doing. Mid to late fall, though, we will be making the wizard mandatory. So that means that when you log in, you'll be shown the wizard. You'll have to go through and retire your password before you'll be able to access your My NCBI account. And then in June 2022, any accounts that have active passwords, those passwords will be disabled. And if you would like to access your My NCBI account and you don't have a third-party login link to it that you can log in with, you'll have to go through a process to recover access to your accounts. I just want to stress here that your account isn't going away, it'll still be there. It's just that if you haven't linked your third-party login, you just won't be able to access it at that time. All right, so does this apply to you and your account? Well, it only applies to you if you have an NCBI password. There are many accounts out there where people registered their accounts using a third-party login, and that's how they log in, and they don't have NCBI passwords. For those people, you'll never see the wizard. You don't even have to think about it. You're good to go. If you're not sure whether or not you have an NCBI password, it's easy to find out. One is if that's what you're using to log in, obviously you have one. But once you're logged in, if you click on your username, you can go to your account settings page. And one clue here is if your username is not an email address or not your ERA Commons or Orchid ID, odds are pretty good that you do have a password. So on the account settings page, you're going to go to the NCBI account section. And if you do have a password, the help text will tell you that your username and password is maintained by NCBI, and you'll see the word password here with some asterisks, and there'll be a button so you can change your password. Everyone who has this in their account, they'll need to go through the wizard and retire their passwords. If you created your account with a third-party login, when you go to that same section, the help text will tell you that you log in via third-party account. You'll just have your username here, no password, and you'll see that you have your third-party linked here. For the one with the password, just to note, this one does have a third-party login link to it, but that doesn't mean you don't have to go through the wizard. We still have to retire your password, even if you have your third-party link to it. All right, so now the wizard demo. So one question I've gotten is, why is there a wizard at all? Why aren't we just retiring the passwords and instead making people sort of go through this process? Well, the answer is we really want to make sure that you keep access to your account and it's as seamless as possible. And so the wizard has two goals, and the main goal is to make sure that you can log into your account via third-party login. And then once we make sure that you can do that, we retire your password. So we just want to make sure that if you don't have a third-party login linked, we do that for you. And if you do, you verify that you can log in with it, because even though there are accounts where people have their third-party logins linked to it, we have no good way of knowing whether or not you still have access to that third party. So we're going to verify that. So without further ado, I'll move on to the demo. I'm going to show you 3 scenarios. The first one is an account that has no third-party logins linked. And by far, this is most of the accounts. Then I'm going to show you an account that has at least one third-party login linked, where we're going to verify that we can log in with it. And then I'm going to show you the quickest way through the wizard, which is you still have an active NCBI password, but you log in with your third-party login. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go to the wizard. And I'm going to log in with my NCBI credentials. And again, this is with an account that doesn't have any third-party logins linked to it. Okay, so here's the intro page. As I mentioned, there's an update later button if for whatever reason you've started this and realize you're not ready to do it. And you'll notice that it is telling you what the username is of the account that we're retiring the password for. So I'm going to click next. And we have step 1 of 2, which is adding a new way to log in. This is where we're going to link a new third-party login to your account. I will note here that we strongly suggest that you have your third-party username and password available before you continue. You have that account created. You know how to log into it. It'll make things very smooth as we go forward. So I'm going to click on add a new way to log in. And then I'm going to pick the third party that has the account that I'm going to link. So in this case, I'm going to pick Microsoft. And I'm going to log into my Microsoft account. And it's going to think a little bit. And then it's going to take me back to the wizard. So we have successfully linked that Microsoft Outlook.com account to my NCBI account with that username. And now I'm just going to confirm that I understand that when I click the confirm button, my NCBI password is going to be retired. So I'm going to click that, click confirm, and bam, you're all set. Your account has a retired password. You're good to go. There's nothing else that you need to do. If you want to read more you can visit our FAQ, and there's that tips page I mentioned earlier. You hit exit, and that takes you to your account settings. So you'll see that I have the retired here where it says password, and that it's linked to my Microsoft Live account. While I'm here, just quickly, I want to show you that you can add other third-party logins to your account if you want a couple of different ways to log in. And this is available right now, even before you retire your password. I can't link another Microsoft Live account, but I could search for and link another type like Orchid, or if I wanted to link my institution account, I could do that. But you will note that since the password is retired, it will not let you remove the last third-party login that's linked to the account. Otherwise, you would have no way to log in. Okay, so I'm going to move on to scenario 2. I just close out so then I have a fresh browser. And for this one, this account has a third party link to it, and I'm going to log in with my NCBI username and password. So I click on my account, paste in the username, password. Okay, intro screen again, going to click next. And this time, the wizard knows that I have a third party linked here. So I'm just going to verify it. Just to note, if you get to the screen and there's a third party login here that you don't have access to, you can always choose this option saying you don't have access to it and you want to add a new one. And it'll just take you to linking another third party the way that we just showed you. But for this, I'm just going to verify the one that's already here. And it's going to think a little bit and redirect back to the wizard. And again, it's confirmed that we know that you can log in with the link third party. I understand my password is retiring. I'm going to hit confirm. And it is dropping me off at my NCBI account. If we go into the settings, you'll see the password's retired. It's linked. I'm currently signed in via my Google account. I'm good to go. One thing I'll show you, if I sign out of this, and if I try to log in again, it'll throw an error saying that the password has been retired. All right. So I'm going to get another fresh browser and go on to the final scenario. So you may have noticed, if you've seen communication from us this past year, that we've been encouraging everybody to get this third-party link to their account. And I want to encourage you further, when you sign in, to start getting used to signing in with your third-party login, because this is by far the easiest way through this wizard. So I am going to log in directly with the third-party account that is linked, the login that's linked to my NCBI account. So we'll get the intro screen again to make sure that nobody's surprised. And then, but when I click next, we go straight to, hey, confirm that you're ready to retire your password, because we've already verified that you can log in with your third-party login. So I'm going to click I understand, confirm, everything's set. The password has been retired for this. And then you exit out and you get your account settings. So that's it. It's pretty simple. If you have your third-party login information ready to go, it's a pretty painless process in general. So that's all I had today as far as the demo, but I'm happy to answer some questions if there are any questions out there.
Yeah, hi, Kimberly. This is Peter. We do have a lot of questions in here. Some of them are pretty technical, and I think Sherry has answered a bunch of them. In the one common one that seems to be showing up a bit is about the issue of linking more than one third-party account, and also, like, you know, one example is, suppose I'm at an institution, say a university, I'm using that login, but when I retire, you know, what should I do if I want to use a different login? How should I do that?
Yep, that's a really great question. And the answer to that is, before you lose access to your institution account that you're logging in with, you'll want to go into your account settings and link a new third-party account. So I'm logged in here. Right now I have Google, but let's say I want to, but let's pretend that this is my NIH account and I want to link an ORCID account, a Login.gov account, or my Gmail account, so I keep access to it. All you have to do, I did that fast, but let me go back and do it again, is under linked accounts, click change. It's thinking, it's a little tired today apparently. And then search for the third party you want to add. So if it's ORCID, or if it's Login.gov, which is right here, then you can link that to your account too, and then you can log in using any of the accounts that you have linked. What else?
Okay, well, I know we don't want to get into too deep about this, but, you know, there's a lot of people asking about, you know, this, what they're calling security concerns from Google, and just want to point out that you can always use Login.gov if you're concerned about using logins from Google and things like that. So there is another way to do this. Is there anything you want to say about that?
No, I think you covered it, Peter. I think our recommendation is, if you have concerns about Google, which we have heard, we do have other options. We generally tell people who don't want to use Google, hey, use Login.gov. It's secure. Anyone can use it. It has two-factor authentication, and link that to your account and just use that.
Yeah, and so can you clarify a little bit more about, somebody asked specifically, what is Login.gov? Can you give a brief sort of introduction to what that is?
Well, it's just at a high level. Login.gov is an initiative by the US government to have one account that you can use to log into multiple US government services, and NCBI happens to be one of those services that it supports. So you create your Login.gov account, and then you can use that to log into NCBI. You can use it to log into other government agencies that are supported. And there's a list, if you go to Login.gov, there's a list of what agencies are supported. But it's basically, they wanted essentially a single sign-on account that you can use for multiple things. And like I mentioned, it's available to anyone. You don't have to be a US citizen or even in the US to use it.
And so this has come up a little bit in a couple of different questions about, and I don't completely understand this, and maybe there's too much technical detail to go into for everybody, but there seems to be this, they're moving ERA Commons to be a Login.gov login, and how does that affect the way that you will log into My NCBI if you use ERA Commons?
So, so that's, I don't have the full details about that. But our current recommendation is to go to ERA and log in and come to NCBI from ERA. that seems to work the best. I know we do have something in progress. We're investigating a way to make that a little more intuitive for you guys, and I'll make sure that we update our FAQ with more information when I have it. But yeah, it was unfortunate timing for us and or them to have both of these transitions at the same time. And I'm trying to figure out a way to make it a little bit more intuitive in terms of how that impacts how you're logging in. But the short answer is if you have an ERA account that's tied to a Login.gov account, you can definitely log into NCBI. It's just the part that's not entirely clear to me right now is if you can log in to your Login.gov that's associated to your ERA account by going directly to NCBI, and then we know that it's tied to the ERA account. So I'm definitely looking into that presently, and we'll make sure that there's more info on the FAQ for you.
And yeah, that's great. And also, Sherry has put some sort of detailed answers that I don't completely understand. But
she would know.
If you use this process, they will probably make perfect sense to you if you have a question about ER comments. And everybody should be able to see those answers because she sent them to everyone. A couple of people have said that the wizard doesn't seem to be active for them. Is that the case? It's not active for everybody yet?
If you go to that URL, you should be getting the wizard. What may happen though is it may ask you to log in before you see the intro screen. So I'm not sure what it means when they say it's not active for them. If one of you can sort of write in with what you're seeing, that would be great.
So
and you can all go ahead.
Here's an example.
Okay.
Someone says, I don't get the wizard pop-up when I log in with my NCBI credentials, but they do have a third-party link, but it's not my primary.
Okay. So what that means is that's the opt-out portion. And we haven't launched it opt-out yet. Let me go back to the timeline. We've launched it opt-in. So what that means is you have to go to the URL in order to see the wizard. It's not going to pop up for you until later this summer. So you're going to go to account.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/migrate, and then you'll see the wizard.
So that would be where they should go if they want to go ahead and get this over with and do whatever they need to do to retire their password.
Yep. And I really recommend it because if you do it now, then you don't even have to, you won't have it pop up. You won't have to worry about it sort of interrupting what you do later. You can just retire your password, log in with your third party, and forget about it.
So I'll do another easy one, and then I'll do a hard one. Someone just wants to know about your demo. Did you use 3 different NCBI accounts for the 3 demos?
I did.
Okay.
Just to make it easier because, once you retire the password is retired.
Okay. And this one may be, again, something that has to be dealt with in more technical detail. But someone is, many libraries do this. They use Easy Proxy for journal access, and they recommend people use ORCID. So far, they have not been able to set up the process going to PubMed via the proxy server and then to ORCID login and then to PubMed again without losing the Easy Proxy connection. So maybe that's something that needs to be addressed by our help desk.
Yeah, that would be my suggestion. I do know that in some cases, turning off the proxy, logging in, and then turning it back on has worked. I don't know that works 100% of the time, but that's a quick workaround. Otherwise, if you are encountering that issue, please write into the help desk, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, yeah, that's a question that a couple of people have asked, and Sherry has put that into the questions pod too. But if you need help, you'll see on the slide that Kimberly has displayed right now, write to us at info. So, info@ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. If there's some question that is very specific or is something that we haven't gotten to today and you need an answer right away, please, write to us. And we have a team of people that are dedicated to answering questions about My NCBI, and so they'll get you the right answer as fast as possible.
Yep, they're a great team.
Well, one simple one doesn't take me too long to read it. Can you attach the same third-party login to more than one My NCBI account?
Good question. The answer is no, because that is your unique identifier for that account. So you can attach the same account to one NCBI account, and you can only attach what's the best way to say this? You can only attach one third-party account from each third party.
Yeah, I think this is the same question, basically. If you already have an NCBI account on the third-party login, I want to attach to my NCBI native account, and you'd have to merge the two accounts. What's the process for merging the two accounts, and how does that go, and what do you do?
Yep, that's a great question. I recommend you write into the help desk if you'd like to merge your accounts for a couple of reasons. One, if you have submission data, there's a sort of a separate behind the scenes process to get your submission data merged, and our help desk people can get that initiated and get everything ready to go before your accounts are actually merged. The other thing is, generally when you merge, you have a primary and a secondary account, and most things merge, but some things, the primary value is what saves. So like your my Bibliography public URL would be for your primary account. So, but if you write into the help desk, they would be happy to help you manage the merge process.
Okay, so here's another question, and I think it addresses a sort of a misconception. So somebody said it would be accurate to tell their patrons that they can use their current NCBI account only until mid-late fall when their accounts will be retired. That's not true at all. The accounts are not being retired at all. So the accounts are not being retired. It's only the passwords that are being retired, correct?
Yes. And I'm so glad that this came up, because I really want that to be clear. We're not doing anything with the accounts themselves. All we're doing is we're updating the way that you log into the account. So as long as you have a third-party login linked to the account, you can still use your account and log in via that third party.
Yes, thanks. It's just like any sort of, a lot of the things that people log into, like, say you use Spotify or something, you can log in with your native credentials, or you can log in with Facebook or whatever. So it's just we're losing the native password. That's all.
Yep.
So here's another one. Is NCBI considering making it possible to log in on the same account from multiple devices and seeing recent activity? Is that something that doesn't exist now? I guess it is.
So I don't really understand the question. I mean, if you're using a different browser, so a different device, you have to log in on each device, but what you see in your account should be the same no matter what device you're logging into.
Okay. All right, that makes sense to me. I'll address the last question before I address one before, which is, yes. So somebody asked, will transcript of the questions being typed into the chat box and their answers be available after the webinar? Absolutely. So that's one of the things we're definitely going to do. We probably won't get all these questions. Now, when we do that, it's not going to be verbatim, because many of these questions are pretty much asking the same thing. So we'll sort of consolidate them and give, one answer. But we should get that available as soon as we can. So it'll probably be about a week or so before we get that up. It's going to be in that FTP directory that I had the compressed link on the first slide. Okay, here's another one. If a patron uses Login.gov and supplies their school email address, will our library's FT icons appear when they log in?
I actually don't know the answer to this one. I would assume that if they're seeing the icons now, then when they log in, they still should, but I've actually never heard of this scenario.
Okay, so we'll take a look at that when we compile the answers to these questions. So here's one that maybe you can provide some information on, or maybe it's something that we don't really want to get into too much because it's really a personal decision, I think. But what are the pros and cons for each of the different third-party logins?
Yeah, so we have put together some guidance for you on our tips page, and that link is in a couple places in the slide presentation that are based on sort of what you do when you log in to NCBI. So we have some guidance for people who are using NCBI accounts primarily for grant applications. We have guidance for researchers or clinicians, students or educators, and it's basically like for grant application, it makes sense, right? ERA, NSF, Login.gov. These are directly, well, ERA and National Science Foundation are directly related to SciENcv and submitting grants. And Login.gov is, as we mentioned before, the official US government account. So those are really great choices. Researchers, if you have an ORCID account, that one makes the most sense. It goes with you from institution to institution. It's tied directly to you as a researcher. It makes a lot of sense. But you can also use your institution or these other recommendations. So and really there's, aside from like the grant application process and things like that, the options, they're very similar. It's really about what you're comfortable with. So if you prefer to have your account tied to the institution that you're working at, that's tied to the work you're doing at NCBI, then that makes a lot of sense. If you prefer to be more anonymous, you could create a Google account or a Login.gov account with any sort of name that you wanted to and use that. If you want your account tied to your research and the work you're doing and have all of that and import stuff from ORCID, for example, into your bibliography, you could use ORCID. And, as someone mentioned earlier in the questions, there are some people who can't use or are not comfortable with using something like Google. So that's when maybe Login.gov would be a good option for you.
Thank you, Kimberly. It's good that you showed this document because I think it's useful for people to see it. And we'll keep adding stuff to these kinds of, the Q&A and the transition tips. So I think we should probably just wrap up for today, and we'll address these questions in the document.
Yep, thanks everybody. Really appreciate you being here. Definitely want to hear from you if you have any questions.
Thanks everybody, and thanks for coming.